right-hand corner on Habitation Station, all knotted up at 2 games apiece, about as tight as we could have hoped for in this best-of-9 show match. It's the Liquid Zerg, it's Snute. And in the top left-hand corner, representing Evil Geniuses, with some pretty creative Protoss play so far today, it is HuK. And again, I think that as far as my expectations, I think that Snute isn't going to go for any super early pools anymore. I think he can now respect HuK's ability to hold them off. I would expect HuK to go, honestly, with a gateway expand. The pylon placement kind of lends itself to that, I think, but or trying to hide a forge again, but I don't think that's where he's going with it. And Snute, I'd expect to go 15 pool and then kind of move forward from there.
Well, it looks like you are correct, at least on what Snute's planning on doing so far. Meanwhile, HuK is going to be just dropping down a gateway first. So this is a very normal opening for Habitation Station, completely standard. Remember, this is tied 2-2 at the moment, which is just insane. I think the majority of people, both on Team Liquid, on Reddit, and people who've been tweeting me, that sort of stuff, the vast majority were expecting a quite convincing win for Snute. HuK is bringing it tonight, like hardcore style.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, Snute's ZVP is his weakest matchup, correct?
I think it is. I could double check
so.
that.
So as far as you know, all of that's concerned, there is kind of that window there for HuK, but
statistically, it's actually his strongest.
Is it? It's the opposite. I was thinking. So I for some reason I thought he was the same as Jaedong in that regard, but it's the opposite. So it's actually his strongest.
Only by a fraction, but still.
Okay, so, you know, but HuK's played absolutely brilliantly, and Snute, okay, here he goes, mixing it up again, taking the gold base. I rather like this. The question's going to be how quickly is HuK going to scout it? The answer is pretty much right away.
So getting this scout down super quick is fantastic for HuK. Knowing about this gold base means that you can start looking to punish it, because as with all things in StarCraft, those with the greater rewards come with the bigger risks. Pylon now coming down, a forge has been placed at the back of HuK's main base, and Snute is going to get his natural cannon rushed.
Yeah, and HuK actually isn't looking to expand at all here. He's got his Cybernetics core going down. He's got his Zealot coming out. He's going to have, well, as you mentioned, kind of a cannon coming down with this pylon here, and he's really looking to pile on some aggression here. Is he just going to go for like a 4-gate here with a cannon rush, or a 2-gate with a cannon rush? Something along those lines, it seems, from HuK, but, I mean, yeah, I kind of like it. I'm hoping to see. I was hoping to see some creative play from him today, some aggressive play, and that's exactly what we're seeing now as we're getting later into the show match.
So this Zealot busy swiping away. For the moment, Snute has no idea that there is a cannon there, but as the hatchery finishes, now realizes, and that is going to be quite unpleasant for Snute in terms of realizations go. A bit of a problem. As we go now, though. Couple of lings coming up in. The second Zealot now joining in with the first. They're covered by the cannon, remember, so that's going to make it even more difficult. And these two Zealots obviously protect up the cannon from any lings that may try and get a bit of damage down.
Yeah, and HuK, again, he's chronoing out this Warp Gate research. His Mothership Core comes out right now, and is he going to put down 2 more gateways? Is he going to put down 3 more gateways and really push this forward? Because, again, he's not expanding here. That is not the name of the game for him right now, and he's well, lings are going to try and come in, but look at this angle with this cannon. It's really tricky to get a lot of cost-efficient damage done on it. The other cannon continuing to push forward as well, and yes, these Zealots get taken down, but at the cost of pretty much all of these lings, and he might think he's out of the water here. HuK is actually going to just expand behind this, so really interesting play. His goals seem to have been just to kill off that gold base, and I guess if that was his only goal, he succeeded.
It is a real annoyance actually losing that gold base, though, not only because, hey, it's a gold base, but more importantly, because Snute took that at his natural. So he's only now just going up to 2 bases worth of production. He spent a lot of lava making lings, which as a result lowers his drone count from where many would expect it to be at this stage of the game. HuK, though, he invested a lot making that happen. It was straight away 300 minerals in the cannons, 400 from the pylon as well, plus those 2 Zealots. It's not exactly free to kill off that hatch for the Protoss.
Yeah, and he's going to end up trying to take down this pylon here, reestablish this gold base as well, and HuK behind this, getting some additional gateways, getting down his Nexus as we talked about, +1 coming out of that forge in the back of his base, and Well, Snoot's having a really rotten time of it trying to reestablish the space. The Mothership Core is going to have to head on out relatively soon. He's built a lot of Lings to try and help him here, but even the addition of just that one Stalker is just so annoying here.
Well, the important thing about that Stalker is it prevents the Queen chipping away at the pylon. And that means the pylon stays alive. These warp-ins are possible yet again. And all in all, it becomes a right pain for Snute. He's going to have to cancel this third hatch of the gold base yet again, really confining him just to the natural and his main, which hurts his production, it hurts his income, and it also hurts his game plan.
And he's just going for a lot of speedlings here behind this. HuK at home does have a sentry kind of blocking off the wall here, so options for a counterattack are not huge, but I think, well, Snoot's now scared of some gateway aggression coming out from HuK. Obviously, his reputation precedes him in that regard, and he did see those Zealots warped in. He knows that there are some gateways coming down behind this. And oh, the force field's a little bit late here. Those sentries look like they're going to go down. The Zealots getting chipped away at as well. Queen's helping out immensely in that regard, but the sentries falling, well, that's huge.
It is a big problem. That means that there's a gas loss for HuK, and he's not exactly running a lot of gas income. He's only got the 2 extractors at the moment in his main. The natural base not yet mining any. Third gateway coming in for HuK as well, now ready to try and fend off this Ling harassment. Only the 1 sentry there for the moment. Oh no, he traps himself on the outside of the force field. It goes down. That is actually a massive problem because there isn't another sentry as of yet. Having to warp that in, spending some more of that gas, preventing any tech coming down from the Protoss.
But HuK behind this has pushed into the natural here. Snute trying to take the third base down in the, well, non-high yield minerals, the normal third base here. This Mothership Core looks like it's going to fall. Is he going to be able to get away with it? Just barely. A time warp goes down to ensure that. But Zealots continuing to chop away here. The Roaches are out now. And quite honestly, well, this is a lot of army on the map for Snute. He has 39 army supply to 10 from HuK.
This is obviously a very, very tough situation for HuK because he's applied a lot of pressure, but Snoot's kind of dealt with that now fairly well. He's got his third hatch up and running yet again, and between all of these factors, he's sitting in a situation where actually Snoot can stabilize. HuK, on the other hand, because he's been having to warp in a lot of sentries, he hasn't been able to get any tech down other than that +1 ground attack.
Yeah, and HuK is ahead in workers. He's up 46 to 37. Snute now droning behind this. He's got 13 Roaches and 13 Lings on the map, so he has map control. HuK really can't leave his base, but he's got 3 sentries there to go with some Stalkers and Zealots as well, and another, well, pylon potentially going down on the bottom of the map here, and looks like a Robo and a Twilight Council for HuK. He's going to want to move on a little bit and eventually take a third base here. It's going to be difficult for him to move out, though, without army knowing the size of Snoot's force.
Snute just sneaking around the south side. There's one lone probe down here. Going to get spotted by a couple of Lings. Won't actually reveal the entirety of Snoot's plan here. But HuK, in terms of his army composition, he's adding in now the Twilight Council and the Robotics Facility. And is preparing to take a third. If Snoot moves out with this army, he could definitely force a cancel there.
Yeah, and he's got Roach speed coming out, more Roaches on the way as well. Don't believe we have any Evolution Chambers. We do not on the map, so the upgrades, again, a little bit behind here for our Zerg player. We have +2 weapons already on the way for the EG Protoss, but I absolutely agree. This third base, well, it's a little bit risky right now to try and take this, but I think HuK feels like he kind of has to.
Waiting to see now exactly where Snute decides to go with this army, because he's got 83 army supply at the moment and hasn't really done anything with it yet. It's causing him to have a much lower drone count than you'd otherwise expect at only 48, but if he's able to deal damage with it, which at very least should be able to take this third Nexus down, it's worthwhile.
He's posturing for a multi-pronged attack here, bringing in most of his army on the left side while distracting with the small clump of Roaches that gets completely surrounded here with really nice force fields. The rest of the Roaches are actually going to go for the army here, I think, but with one Immortal in the mix as well. I'm not sure if that's the wisest move in the world, but the force fields, a lot of them had been used trying to bait this army in, and yet those force fields will block out the remainder of that Roach force. But this base here with the Photon Overcharge is actually going to force Snute back. Wow, I thought Snute might try and challenge that.
The Photon Overcharge in itself wasn't too threatening, but that army up the ramp, which may have a second Immortal for all Snute knew depending on the production cycles, could have been a lot more threatening. Snute moving back up towards that natural. Yet again, though, this ramp is being heavily sieged by this roachling force. The Immortal at the front could get focused down quite quickly. Will get taken out in one volley from all of these roaches. And that's a good snipe off by Snute, who behind this is just adding in more and more drones.
Yeah, he's going up to 57 drones with this next few that pop on out, and transitioning into Hydras. We kind of saw how Hydras, even just a few of them, really started to give HuK trouble with this very same army composition, except for the fact that he now only has 1 sentry with his army. Remember how many he had in the previous game on King Sejong Station. He is researching Thermal Lance, but no Colossi on the map now, and this Zerg army is pushing towards the 3rd again.
This is starting to look very stressful for HuK. He needs to keep buying time. He needs these Colossi out more than anything, really, just in order to get that splash to deal with a much larger Zerg force that's currently running circles around him at any time that HuK decides to move out. But HuK has managed to maintain this 3rd Nexus, giving him a very important income advantage and also a very strong stabilization point if he's able to buy himself more time.
Yeah, and again, he's got +2 weapons to an unupgraded Roach Hydra force here, but the army supply nearly double for Snute here. And there are only 2 sentries here. Remember this, the multi-pronged attack comes in from Snute. HuK backed into a corner with his army. The Zealots are trapped in the back. They finally rope around on the left side. On the right side, though, an Immortal goes down. The Hydras going forward as well. A Time Warp falls on the back of that army, but well, has Snute breached this force? It's 80 army supply to 30. The Colossi getting a lot of kills here, 12 kills on this Colossi, but Snute continuing to power forward. Nothing but roaches coming behind us as Lings and Hydras stream across the map.
This 3rd Nexus is going to be running into a lot of problems momentarily. More units coming across. The Overseer granting high ground vision for Snute allows him to snipe off that Colossus. HuK down to only 12 army supply. GG's out, and Snute takes the advantage yet again to 3-2.